However, as a viewer of good StarCraft, I want this game to be as good as it can possibly be. I want these games to be super entertaining, and I just want only the highest skill and the best strategies to win StarCraft. And I think current Cyclone doesn't work for that. Current Cyclone is just boring. I haven't seen any good strategies with it that don't just feel overpowered. And then I don't think it has a super high skill ceiling. I think it's pretty easy to be very good with it. I don't like that. So let's hope we don't see too many of those in this match. Or maybe these players can show me something I haven't seen before. Because these guys are real good. We're in the semifinals of this EPT Cup, and spawning in the upper left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have Team Liquid's Clem. His opponent in the lower right, currently teamless, the Red Terran, it's Kelazhur. I've just run out of water, so I'm going to fill up some water while we get going here in this early game. Just temporarily, we're going to follow somebody else's observing. Somebody who's really good at observing. Pretty sure this is Funka. Uh-oh, there's a Reaper engagement. Yeah, all right. I haven't missed anything. So Kelazhur, we have seen, we did just watch Kelazhur up against Spirit. And we did see that he was a little bit less excited about the Cyclones than his opponent. And in this game, yeah, we're going to see double Reaper as well as Hellion production here for some early game units out against his opponent. Clem, though, going to come in, grab that SCV at the command center, delaying that CC. Clem does have a Cyclone back at home. A second one on the way, and I think he might send this factory over to the reactor. My guess. Speaking of which, Kelazhur, despite avoiding the Cyclones at the start of the game, is going to get into them now as he heads across the map with these two Hellions and these Reapers. We'll see if Clem is able to defend with the two Reapers and the Cyclone, as it feels like Kelazhur is going to jump in on top of this. There he goes. Targets down one Reaper. Gets the second one. Nope. Doesn't quite get the second one. Great pullback from Clem. And that's going to allow the lock-on from the Cyclones to get two more units, because Clem forced the turnaround and pulled back that Reaper at the exact perfect moment. Not only to keep it alive, but to force Kelazhur's units back a little bit closer to those Cyclones than he wanted them to be. Good micro there from Clem. However, Kelazhur has got two Cyclones back at home with this Reaper, so I don't think Clem's going to be able to push too hard on this, but he's got the medevac. This is that micro I was talking about. This is the one thing you can do with Cyclones if you're very good, is micro them fancily, breaking those lock-ons with the medevac. Ooh, spicy. Ooh. Oh my god, Kelazhur, he gets the kill. The Kelazhur. And actually, he's going to be able to get this medevac too, chasing Clem away. And while that looked very good for Clem at the start, actually, I think it ends up being, well, overall, it's a worse trade for Kelazhur. But I think that trade ended up being better for him, because he killed the Cyclone and the medevac for just the one Cyclone. Nicely done. Some fancy micro there. See, I don't mind this too much. This is much better than when they just first changed the Cyclone and TVT was just massing Cyclones and blindly running into each other. Now we've got some interesting stuff, and Kelazhur is going to go for the double Cyclone drop in the main. Clem has some Cyclones down here in the natural, but going to take them a little bit to get up here. He's going to lose an SCV or two in the meantime. Ooh, got a boost out of there. At the same time, auto turret gets dropped down here, and that auto turret's going to go ahead and get 4 kills. Kelazhur not pulling those SCVs away. But Kelazhur dropping his third base on location, whereas Clem's is in the main. Clem's is so much earlier, though. Drop comes back in. We'll delay that CC by a little bit at least. Ooh, he wants to dive for that Raven. He's going to get it. Loses the medevac, though. And then they trade some Cyclones out. 5 SCVs going down. Plus a big delay on the CC. Clem hasn't realized. Oh, no, this is huge. Clem. Clem, you got to realize. Okay, finally realizes that was a massive. That's like 30 seconds. Kelazhur's CC went down way later, but that helps him out quite a bit. Obviously, being on location helps out as well. Kelazhur does need to defend now, but I think he should have enough to defend here. Hold the phone. Clem's got another Raven showing up. Auto turret gets dropped down. Kelazhur is out of Raven energy. Clem still has another auto turret or two, and he's locking onto this command center. He's got to be careful, though. He's got to take this good engagement. Raven's getting taken down. Clem still has one Raven left alive, and he's going to get both of these Cyclones. Oh, no, Kelazhur. This was such a good opening for him in a lot of ways, but he's going to be forced to cancel that third CC while it was 2/3 of the way done. In the meantime, Clem's is already in orbital, and it's about to land at the third. So suddenly this has gone from being an okay opener for Kelazhur to a terrible opener. Trading much worse, 1,000 resources worse with the Cyclones. 10-6 going down. Both players losing 2 Ravens. But also just being forced to cancel that third base. Kelazhur is now economically in a terrible spot. As well as being down 20 army supply. Now that Clem is getting into the good stuff, he's got a siege tank, he's got Marines coming out. Combat shields is on the way. Does that mean Stim is done already? It does. Both players have 1-1, but we see Clem's 1-1 is quite a bit ahead of Kelazhur's. So after all of that early game action, Clem is just skyrocketing ahead. And I find it very hard to see an avenue for Kelazhur to get back into this game. He's going to have to do something drastic, like a big drop in the main, or like Clem's going to have to take an awful fight in order for Kelazhur to get himself back into this game. He's still almost 20 army supply behind. His third base is finally going to go down, but it's not even an orbital yet. Clem's mining has been much better for the last few minutes. And in general, this game has been much better. Clem's going to move across the map now. Try to take advantage of the fact that his 1-1 is done. Kelazhur's is not done yet. And if this fight happens before that finishes, that could be huge. Already a massive advantage here for Clem, but also being up 2 upgrades, that would be insane. Marines trying to zone this Raven out of here, but the Raven, that could shut down both of these tanks. Kelazhur only has 2 tanks. Oh my god, that Raven. Woo! It takes some damage. But look at this, Clem. He's going to come in from multiple angles. One more tank shows up, but I don't think that's going to be enough here for Kelazhur, as Clem just has so many more Marines. He's got tanks behind this, and there is the GG as Clem takes game number 1. A very strong-looking game there from Clem. Some good early game Cyclone action there. I got to say, let's see, credit where credit's due. There's much more entertaining Cyclone opener than I've seen in most TVTs. So I hope if the Cyclone stays like this for a while, that's what TVT Cyclone looks like in the future, going forward. But we'll see. We're getting into game 2. See what happens here. It's going to be on Hecate. Yeah, Kelazhur had some good early game Cyclone micro. The lifting and dropping, that is kind of fun. That is kind of fun, and it's something that you can only do with the Cyclones. The like lock-ons, the way that works. It's kind of cute. Let's go ahead and hop in. Spawning in the upper right-hand corner of Hecate, we have Team Liquid's Clem starting up 1-0 in this TVT. His opponent needs to pull it back and win 2 in a row now against the DreamHack Atlanta champion. We have Kelazhur in the red. And I think MaxPax versus Rainer is still going, so we don't know who the opponent is going to be in the finals. Ooh, cheeky Kelazhur. Gonna drop a second barracks out on the map. It's like a proxy 2 racks, but only one of the racks is proxied. Clem's gonna scout across the map. He's not gonna be spotting this barracks. And it looks like Clem's just gonna go pretty standard. Factory before CC, so not gonna be in too much danger here, but still good potential for Kelazhur. I think the scary thing, actually, off the back of this for Kelazhur is that he might be later into Cyclones. We'll see how that interaction works. We'll see if the Reaper is able to get some damage done. But yeah, being later into Cyclones does matter in this matchup now. How will he handle the transition? The second Reaper's about to pop out here. Did Clem scout that? Oh, he did. Okay. Well, good scout from Clem. And now Clem knows he needs to stay back at home. Is he going to start up a Hellion? He is. Hellions, I think, build a little bit quicker, a little bit cheaper. Second Reaper pops. Perfect timing for Clem. He's going to jump on top of this. Gets 1 Reaper. Does lose 1 for that. Pull back up to his ramp. Up to the high ground. As the next couple of Reapers are popping out here. Kelazhur starting his CC back at home. He's got a factory finishing up as well. There's the Cyclone on the way for Clem. But the factory here for Kelazhur is in time to start up his own Cyclone, so he doesn't have to worry about being behind in that production. Just kind of wondering how that interaction was going to go, but because Clem was forced to build a Hellion first, the Cyclone started almost the exact same time. Clem going to send these Reapers to the other side of the map, actually. Might be able to sneak a peek at this SCV and take it down, delay the CC a little bit. That'd be kind of cute. Looks like they're going to be able to do that exact thing. Cyclone is out, though. Time to stop them from doing really any further damage. Kelazhur may be thinking about going up. He's got 5 Reapers here. I don't know how many Reapers it takes to kill current Cyclone. It looks like they're going to go for it. I think the answer might be 5. Might even be 4, actually, with the ease that they killed that. The Hellion also getting pushed back here, and suddenly Clem's in a little bit of trouble, but Medevac pops out. 2 SCVs go down, that Hellion does die. Medevac trying to boost to catch up to these Reapers, but not quite fast enough. 3 of those Reapers will get out of there. Back home for Kelazhur, who's going to go for the counter Cyclone drop, as you do. Clem suddenly realizing what is happening here. He's going to siege up the Liberator. Liberator's an interesting choice, but it will zone these units away. Clem killing one of the Cyclones, trying to get the other one. Doesn't quite get it. Misses that lift up as well. Now Clem only has 1 Cyclone here. The Reaper is going to be able to take it out. Now Clem just trying to use the healing energy to keep some of these SCVs alive. The Liberator going to move over here. Just kind of auto attack against the Medevac. I love it. Oh man, but these Reapers getting some damage done. Focusing down the Mules. Stop them from mining as 2 more Cyclones will pop out and finally take them down. Clem has lifted up 4 SCVs to keep them alive. Can you not lift up mules in medevacs? Did we just learn something? Oh man, and Kelazhur's not stopping now. He's got the Liberator here to siege up. And he's gotten some damage on him, but look at the supplies. They're very similar. One Marine out trying to do damage as the Cyclones pop in as well. Where's Clem's Cyclones? They're way out here. He's going to lose a lot of SCVs in the meantime. One Cyclone gets picked up and is going to dive into the main base and keep getting damage on 9 workers. 10 workers going down already. Kelazhur gets out of there. He built a Marine out of this barracks as well. It's finally going to go down. But Kelazhur with a lot of early game pressure gets a lot of damage done there at the end. Takes a nice trade and is ahead a bunch of workers. Third CC is further ahead for Kelazhur as well, so that economic lead he has should just continue. And the Army supplies are very similar right now. Both players still on Cyclone production. Kelazhur pulls the Cyclones home. Clem's just going to try to get that worker count back up there. His third CC finished up finally, but Kelazhur's is already in orbital and is already flying over to that third base location. And this feels like a reverse of last game in a lot of ways. Kelazhur is quicker on the 1-1. He's not ahead in the Army supply, though. Oh. As I say that, he drops very far behind in the Army supply. Hold on. Clem taking a great fight in the middle of the map. What happened there? Suddenly, Kelazhur has like nothing. That was just an abysmal fight in the middle of the map. Kelazhur getting caught with his pants down. Clem drops in the main base. This will get cleaned up, it looks like. Ooh, and the medevac will go down. 5 SCVs dying, though, as Clem hits in the natural as well. Raven's going down on both sides here, and Clem, I mean, he is in a commanding position all of a sudden. Army supplies are still very similar, but a lot of workers going down here. Counter damage from earlier. Clem also gets the second Raven. 18 SCVs dying, and the third base forced to lift and pull back up into the main. All of a sudden, Kelazhur, who had a lot of advantages going from earlier, he's down to his 1-1 is earlier, and that's about it. The Cyclone's going to dive in and try to get on top of this siege tank, but the tank will siege up, send these units packing. It looks like Clem finally going to have to back out. But that was still an excellent fight there for Clem, who is now traded much better than his opponent, killing a lot of those Cyclones. Plus that second Raven. Out. And after all that, he's got his third base down on location. He's got more SCVs mining, more minerals. And what looked like a great advantage for Kelazhur turns on its head. Now Kelazhur is heading out with a double drop of Marines. One Marauder in there for posterity. And he's going to try to hit this base. There is a siege tank at this base, but not a lot of support for it. Ooh, it's going to get a great shot off the start. Kelazhur will lift up after losing a bunch of Marines and killing one Cyclone. Drops out down here. Should be able to get, yeah, gets one more Cyclone, but more Marines coming up for Clem. Kelazhur needs to back up. Looks like he's going to lose some stuff here. And now Clem deciding he wants to go on the counter offensive. His 1-1 is nearly done, so that upgrade lead that Kelazhur had is about to be gone. As Clem is getting in here with the tanks. Also, it's 1 Raven for Clem to none Ravens for Kelazhur. So Clem is going to have a shutdown available on one of these tanks. Ooh, he's going to try to use it. There it goes, down on that siege tank. Clem trying to take a good fight at the bottom of this ramp. He's a great concave. He's going to send Kelazhur back up the ramp, kill that siege tank. And Clem is putting himself in a commanding position in this game. He's up 10 workers. He's up 14 army supply. He's ahead in the tank count, 4-3, and the Marine count. He's also starting up his 2-2. Kelazhur, maybe not quite enough money here. Starts up +2 attack, doesn't start up +2 armor. Trading 1 tank for 1 here as Clem keeps the pressure on. Sees that Kelazhur is unsieged, engages for a little bit, then backs up. Clem continuing to reinforce, picking up units in medevacs to send them over and reinforce this push. Finally, that armor does get started up here for Kelazhur. As Clem rotates around, this is why I like the advantage for the aggressing player in TVT in particular, is now he's forcing Kelazhur to kind of come out of position to take this fight against the tanks with mostly just Marines. Kelazhur does have a couple of tanks showing up in time to help out here, but a lot of his Marines are gone, and Clem wins the tank war against this top tank. Kelazhur picked up in the medevac like he was going to drop, decides against it. And now Clem just kind of holding the position here. His fourth base is done, as this female Ursadak is seeing right now. Kelazhur wants to take his fourth, but he's going to be forced to take this one very far away because Clem's in position over here. Nice Liberator for Kelazhur, though. I think Clem's going to have to back up. Looks like Clem's just going to take a fight for a little while here. Try to trade as well as he can. He does kill that Liberator, but now it's 1 tank and 3 Marines at this fight. However, Clem is over here too. Random missile turret up here, gonna spot him. There's 2 missile turrets in the main base. Clem is still gonna drop anyways, and he should be able to get most of these Marines out. Forcing Kelazhur back up into his base. But Kelazhur's gonna clean this up. Send it out of there. I'm trying to rotate around over here as well, but Kelazhur seems pretty well set up. But he's not very well set up to actually defend this base. This base is in some trouble now. I don't think Kelazhur can keep it alive. Trump's got some tanks here with it. Ooh, it's not quite dead yet. SCVs. Go, 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 go. RIP. Command center goes down, and suddenly it's back to 3 bases to 4 for Kelazhur, who never got that 4th base up and running at all. Clem's got a 5th about to finish. And here's Kelazhur going for a doom drop. This is a lot of units in the middle of the map. Clem is kind of nearby. He might be able to jump on top of this, but he doesn't know it's here. Sieges up 1 tank just to try to take as good of a trade as possible. And now he's chasing this group of Marines with his group of Marines. It's 2-2 on both sides, so the upgrades are dead even. Kelazhur's big drop will get pushed away. At the same time, I saw 5 SCVs going down. I'm not sure where that was exactly. It looks like it was down here to this Liberator, which is now going to get cleaned up. Gets 1 more Marine on the way out. But Clem is up 50 supply right now. He has taken better trades while mining so significantly much more these last 5 minutes. I mean, this is a huge amount of mining that Clem has done over Kelazhur. And Kelazhur is fighting from what feels like an impossible position in this game. Clem putting down a 6th base on location against a player with 3 bases. Oh, and these Liberators just going to kill 2 siege tanks. Oh, man. At the same time, whatever this was, got 6 more SCV kills. Kelazhur, it feels like he's starting to really fall apart here. This has been a hard game. Clem just finding advantage after advantage. It all stems from those early game Cyclones, man. Clem took a better fight with the early game Cyclones, and suddenly this game starts snowballing. Kelazhur he's continuing to defend, but I feel like this can only hold for so long. Big stim from Kelazhur. He's going to try to jump on some of these siege tanks. I don't think he could fight with the army straight up. There's just too much more here for Clem. It's 65 to 30 Marines. Kelazhur going to get this base seated. Maybe he can turn into a planetary and help him out in a fight. More tanks sieging up here for Kelazhur, but Clem says, screw it, I'm going in anyways. He's going to siege the tanks, he's going to siege the Liberators, and he is going to win the fight decisively. Winning the fight, winning the game, winning the series. Clem will be heading to the finals this week's EPT Cup. GG.